Hello friends, welcome to Shriram's. The topic for today's discussion is Chamoli Disaster. The backstory. A glacier broke and fell into Dhauli Ganga, a tributary of Ganga in the Chamoli district of Uttarakhand. This triggered a flood that resulted in massive devastation and loss of lives. The force of the river was so much that it washed away the 13.2 megawatt Rishi Ganga hydropower project and also caused considerable damage to the 520 megawatt Tapovan Vishnugarh hydropower project. What is meant by Himalayas are fragile? Himalayas are seismically and tectonically active young mountain ranges. The natural processes of uplift, tectonic movement, and erosion make the range one of the most dynamic landscapes on Earth, prone not only to natural hazards such as earthquakes, landslides, flash floods, and glacial lake outbursts, but also it is key in regulating temperatures in the subcontinent. The variety of ecosystems in this sensitive region supports are also fragile. Himalayan region itself holds 4 global biodiversity hotspots, and the ecosystem services emanating from the region benefit more than 35% of the planet's population. The loss of biodiversity and environmental damage across water bodies, air, or land place ecosystems and the people who depend on it in jeopardy. Is the disaster man-made? Yes, indeed. Stone quarrying, blasting of mountains, and digging of tunnels in the base of the mountain system for 2 back-to-back under-construction dams on Rishi Ganga and Dhauli Ganga rivers had played havoc with the local ecology. Also, widening of roads for the Char Dham tourism project has also played its part. Climate change, held responsible for faster glacial melting, has also aggravated the situation. Is Char Dham viable? The Char Dham all-weather road project is a 2-lane expressway project that seeks to widen the 816-kilometer stretch of single-lane roads to improve accessibility to Char Dham shrines, namely Yamunotri, Gangotri, Badrinath and Kedarnath. The Supreme Court in Citizens for Doon versus Government of India case ordered that the width of the roads on the entire Char Dham route, which falls in ecologically fragile Himalayan region, should be 5.5 meters. But the Ravi Chopra High Power Committee's majority disagreed with this because it's not possible to grow trees on excavated paths. In addition, wider roads are also a strategic requirement for movement of military vehicles and heavy equipment, especially in Himalayan region leading to the international borders. Can we afford to promote tourism in the area? Tourism is already a major driver in the economic growth and livelihood promotion in Uttarakhand. Its contribution to the state gross domestic product is about 4.4% and its share in employment is 2%. Uttarakhand is a site for ecotourism under Swadesh Darshan scheme of the central government. But a huge influx of tourists in the fragile ecosystem has created problems such as severe water scarcity due to increasing number of hotel rooms, higher consumption of water, environmental changes and land use change which affects the capacity of land to hold water, poor waste management, often piles of garbage flow into local streams, choking and polluting the natural drainage system. Ecological disasters such as landslides, floods, avalanches, cloudbursts are becoming more commonplace as the mountainous region reaches its carrying capacity, such as 2013 Kedarnath floods. The alpine meadows of Uttarakhand are under such stress that the High Court asked the state to restrict the number of tourists visiting these eco-sensitive places and banned night stay in the meadows. What is the way ahead? First, install early warning systems that alert the downstream populations about an impending disaster. Besides classical alarming infrastructure consisting of acoustic alarms by sirens, modern communication technology using cell phones and smartphones can complement or even replace traditional alarming infrastructure. Second, set up and train local teams for search and rescue operations. These local teams will also assist in planning and setting up emergency shelters, distributing relief packages, identifying missing people, and addressing the needs for food, healthcare, water supply, etc. Set up National Center of Glaciology as a nodal agency to coordinate the efforts of other agencies and departments such as Geological Survey of India, the Environment Ministry, Indian Meteorological Department, DRDO, National Remote Sensing Agency, and others. Fourth, Forest Rights Act should be implemented as forests constitute about 65% of Uttarakhand's total area. Fifth, regulation on construction activity. Construction activity should be banned in areas which fall under hazardous zones or areas close to river, springs, and watersheds. In many cases, these provisions exist in the bylaws but have not been strictly enforced. Uttarakhand Ecotourism Policy 2020 should act as a guiding principle for a balanced amalgamation of tourism and conservation. Seventh, Niti Aayog in its recently released Sustainable Tourism in the Indian Himalayan Region recommended introduction of green cess to generate funds to offset environmental damage from tourism, as it can increase tax revenue and help maintain and enhance the critical services. Eighth, detailed project reports of a variety of infrastructure projects in the region should account for mountain climate dynamic such as frequency of landslides, snow avalanches, and lake bursts through detailed studies. Such research should feed into environmental impact assessment reports and guide decisions on the developmental projects in the region. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast.